Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to the Truth Talk podcast. I'm back here with D.
Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Lil Tay. But before we begin, I just wanted to give a special shout out to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. For those who might not know Scentbird yet from previous videos, let me tell you about their wonderful service. Scentbird is a fragrance monthly subscription service that provides you with access to endless supplies of fragrances. Scentbird lets you choose a new fragrance to try every month for just $17 a month. Every month, you get to pick the fragrance you want to receive with no surprises or hassles. They always have tons of perfumes and colognes in stock, ready for you to order at the click of a button. With each fragrance, you get a 30-day supply so you can try out the fragrance before committing to a full-size bottle. This is great because we know how expensive those full-size bottles could be. If you go to your local mall to get your fragrances, you quickly notice a bottle can run you in the hundreds of dollars. Why not get it on Scentbird? They always have plenty of designer fragrances in stock that at the click of a button, you can get shipped to your front door. You get the scent you want and you save money while doing it. The wonderful people over at Scentbird actually sent me 3 new scents: Ember by Joseph Abod, Cross River Gorilla by Sanctuary, and Susli Pumarabu by Itali Liberenge. My favorite one by far is the Cross River Gorilla by Sanctuary. If you're looking for a new scent, try this one and you won't be disappointed. The best part is that Scentbird provides you with a monthly supply of the scent of your choice and these awesome spray vials that come in these stylish cases. So if you want to give Scentbird a try, today's the perfect day. Use my link in the description with code TheTruthIs55 off, or scan the code on the screen now to get 55% off your first month with Scentbird. That means you'll get your first month for a little over $7, and you really can't beat that. I once again want to give a special thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get right into it. I've always said Hollywood is the most dangerous place for children. These young, eager kids who want to be stars are always the most vulnerable. They are young, stupid, and unfortunately still don't know how to determine people's intentions. These young souls enter Hollywood happy, optimistic, and full of life, but by the time they become stars, that life is sucked right out of them. We have seen so many examples of what Hollywood does to kids in the industry. We have heard the stories of people like Amanda Bynes, whose life ended up ruined by those in Hollywood. Still to this day, she is dealing with the effects of being a part of Hollywood so young. Or other examples like those of Orlando Brown, Britney Spears, and even Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber has come out multiple times to speak on his substance issues and his trauma from being in Hollywood. So many of these child stars eventually have the same outcome. In just about all these situations, the parents could have saved their child from this life, but instead, normally, they are the ones encouraging their children to be a part of it. So many parents sell their kids to Hollywood. The child they claim to love so much, they allow those in the industry to take advantage of them, letting the evils of Hollywood consume their child as long as they can get a check for it. This is why so many child actors grow up, leave Hollywood, develop addictions, and tend to come out and expose their parents for robbing and using them. This is an unfortunate cycle that would never die out in Hollywood. As long as parents keep on making children, Hollywood would keep on buying them. We are currently witnessing a perfect example of this with Lil Tay. For those who don't know, Lil Tay is a social media influencer and now an artist who went viral all the way back in 2018. Back in 2018, videos of Lil Tay were spreading online, being seen by millions on social media. The video will show a then 10 or 11-year-old Lil Tay screaming at the camera about how rich she was and just how broke you were. In the videos, she was seen wearing expensive designer clothing while sitting in fancy luxury cars. Her video calling herself the youngest flexer of the century went so viral, she quickly started making appearances with other rappers. For 3 months, Lil Tay kept this up, dropping countless flexing videos, until one day, she just stopped. Just how Lil Tay came in, she went out, as one day she was just gone. This left many people with questions and many others genuinely just worried on what happened to Lil Tay. The whole situation turned out to be way more complicated than expected. Sometime after Lil Tay went missing, it was discovered that she really didn't go missing at all. What actually happened was that her father, who was separated from Lil Tay's mother, saw what her daughter was doing online and didn't approve of it. Even though he didn't live with Tay, he wanted his daughter to get off the internet and stop embarrassing herself online. On many occasions, Lil Tay was taking things too far, which would have had an impact on her future, something she's not thinking about at 11 years old. She has been online doing various inappropriate things, even using the N-word during one of her videos. So her father, through the courts, got temporary custody of his daughter and got her off the internet. Around this time, it was also discovered that Lil Tay was really just a puppet of her older brother and her mother. This entire Lil Tay character was created by the older brother and brought to life with the mom's help. The mom worked as a high-profile realtor who had access to expensive homes. This is where Lil Tay filmed all her skits at. All of her skits were her brother's ideas, as he coached her on what to say and also ran her social media accounts. The mother, even though she could have stopped it all, instead went along with it and got herself fired after it was discovered she was letting Lil Tay film herself inside her mother's client's home, using her client's clothes and even their vehicles for skits. After all of this hit the internet, it was over for Lil Tay, and she was now living with her father as her flexing career was over. It appeared this would eventually change this year when Lil Tay turned 16, which allowed her to choose who to live with. She ended up going back to her mother, and they started planning her comeback. About a month ago now, the internet was shocked when it was reported that the self-proclaimed biggest flexer in the world, Lil Tay, had reportedly passed away at the young age of 16. This confused many, as Lil Tay had been missing from the internet for the past few years. She was taken off the internet by her father at the heights of her flexing career and went ghost. Out of nowhere, her name was being reintroduced to the world, claiming she had passed away. It was being rumored that she and her brother passed away in an accident, which left people with so many questions. Again, in a long time, people were asking what happened to the youngest flexer, Lil Tay. Well, it wasn't long until it was revealed that she was not dead at all and was alive and well. Lil Tay would end up claiming that her account was hacked and that the hacker posted the death post on her account. As unbelievable as that sounds, Meta confirmed that her account was strangely hacked, which if you saw my last episode on Tay on the second channel, you would know I called this out as lies. Out of nowhere, Lil Tay was now posting once again on her social media accounts, and she was now telling people that her father is an evil monster who was trying to keep her from her internet clout. This was the point in time where people all over the internet called out Lil Tay as they realized this was all just a stunt to garner attention. But at this point in time, no one knew what the attention was for until now. A couple days back, the internet was once again shocked by Lil Tay. But this time, not because of a death rumor, but because she dropped a new music video. Out of nowhere, Lil Tay dropped a song in a music video called Sucker for Green. Now, we know exactly why she faked her death. This was all an elaborate plan to successfully accomplish a comeback. She most likely planned this for months in advance. This entire situation is truly disturbing, and it becomes even more disturbing when we realize Lil Tay's mother openly approves of this all, and is even in the music video with Lil Tay. Honestly, I feel like this should be illegal. Her mother and her older brother straight up planned this entire stunt just to get her daughter Clout and to try to launch a music career. They did this all so Lil Tay can make the money. They are literally pimping this 16-year-old girl. They truly managed to fool the internet, as she ended up getting 3 million views on the video in about 2 days. Just like her song is titled, she's a sucker for green. Lil Tay would do anything for money and clout. What I also noticed is that the music video seems inappropriate to me, as we last remember Tay being an 11-year-old child. Now they got her dressed like this and surrounded by older men. It all just looks off to me, and I don't understand how a parent will be okay with any of this. Knowing what we know about the mom being fully invested in Lil Tay's character since day one, I'm not at all surprised. This entire situation is ridiculous. They have been using that little girl since she was 11, clout chasing all over the internet. Now they got her at 16 dressed provocatively and trying to use the clout they got from faking her death for a music career. The sad thing about this all is that the father is trying to stop this from happening, but her mother is making sure her daughter keeps up the internet games. They're doing their best to throw dirt on the father's name and make him look like the villain, even though the father just wants the daughter off the internet so she can have a normal upbringing. What her daughter repays him with is allegations of him sleeping with his assistants and a bunch of other inappropriate things. Lil Tay is sadly being controlled by her mother and her older brother. At this point, even though she is still fairly young, she is old enough to understand what she is doing is wrong. She's destroying her life and her father's life for clout that isn't even going to last more than a few months. The moment this song came out, it should have been a dead giveaway to everybody that she was the one that was truly behind this death stunt. To believe the mother would go this far to allow her daughter to fake her death for the internet, possibly get themselves in trouble, just so that they can promote her daughter's new song. I have not seen a better example yet of selling your child to Hollywood. Like we were talking about Krishan the other day, and I think she might be in competition with Lil Tay's mom because they're both showing us that they have no shame with selling their child to Hollywood.
Yet we already know this is not uncommon in Hollywood. We've seen dozens of kids come out and speak against their parents, pushing them and putting them in this position, and then all the things that happen to them. Now you have her own mother proudly selling her to the industry, even going as far as being in Lil Tay's music video, further showing that she doesn't care that she's doing all of this stuff to get relevant again. You know, personally, when I was a child, my mom would not have been okay with me doing any of that stuff, nor less being behind it, being right there next to me, encouraging me to do so, being in my music videos, and before even that, allowing me to be in her client's house and posting up like they were my own. And you know what's even crazier, which furthermore proves your point about this being planned? Just a couple months back, a social media influencer, I don't remember which one, was saying that Lil Tay's brother actually reached out to her, saying that they were planning a big comeback. And this was before they had even staged that whole death hoax situation.
Exactly. This is something that I'm pretty sure they were planning for a long time. They knew Lil Tay was probably turning 16. If I'm not mistaken, she turned 16 in July or June, one of those 2 months. So I'm pretty sure they were planning it since before then. And the fact that they went directly to a death hoax, it makes me feel that that's something that the brother came up with. The brother was the one who had Lil Tay acting like this character to begin with, you know? He had his little sister saying the N-word and doing a bunch of inappropriate things and saying all these things into the camera for clout. So I know for a fact, I'm pretty sure it was Lil Tay's brother who came up with the whole death hoax situation and all. What's interesting is watching this video, it seems super inappropriate how they're presenting Lil Tay. Like, we have to remember, we remember Lil Tay as the 11-year-old, 10-year-old girl who was calling herself the youngest flexer in the world. We saw her as this bratty child who was just saying things for clout. But as a child, you know, she disappeared. So our last memory of her is still as this child. Now they're bringing her back into this music video and they're trying to dress her up like all the rest of the pop stars that are underdressed. And she's doing too much. She has all these guys behind her. I feel like it's inappropriate and it shows just how Hollywood works. They're already corrupting this little girl's image. They're already trying to sell her to the audience in a sexual way. And there's people on the internet actually calling Lil Tay attractive, which I find strange. If you're not 16, 15, you should not be thinking about Lil Tay in any way. She is still a little girl, and I still remember her as the Lil Tay character that was saying all those wild things. The fact that they're presenting her this way and the mom is behind it, it just shows you how far the mom is willing to go. And she does not care or have any respect for her daughter. She's willing to sell out her daughter completely. We've seen so many examples of this, but truly this is one that we cannot deny. And honestly, we should not be supporting Lil Tay. 3 million people went to see her music video. 3 million people listened to that song. Who knows how much streams it got? She had a bunch of people with her live. She's getting the attention she wants. And now she's using that attention to bash her father. She's made several allegations against her father, and I'm not gonna say, I know that her father didn't do anything to her, because we don't know her father. But it just seems strange that her father is the one that's trying to get her off the internet and have her grow up normally, while Lil Tay is claiming that her father just wants to have custody of her to take all her money that she's making off the internet, which makes zero sense. Does that make any sense, D?
No, that doesn't make sense to me at all, especially since I know he's a lawyer that makes very good money. There's no reason for him to need his daughter's money. But for him to need his daughter off the internet when she's making a fool of herself is a necessity. He's a lawyer. This is his image. His daughter's out here acting a certain way that's going to essentially harm his image. And on top of that, they had to go to court before he was even able to get custody of her. So all of this stuff that she is saying, I don't know how much truth is really behind that, because in these type of situations, there's house meetings. They talk to the parents, they talk to the siblings to make sure that everything that is going to be in the household is correct. She's making these allegations that her father did things to her, didn't feed her or clothe her properly, and I don't know whether or not to believe it too much, because we know who Lil Tay is and the type of things that she's already done, and the fact that she has lied to get herself in the position that she's in.
Just think about it like this. If it is a situation that was criminal, her father would already be in prison. If it was something about that he did something bad to Lil Tay, her father would have at least been arrested or been questioned for it or something in that sense. This has nothing to do with that. This has everything to do with Lil Tay's public image. Lil Tay is trying to come up right now, and she's using her father as the fuel for that fire. She is coming out and accusing her father for everything because it gives her an enemy for her fans to root against, you know, and that's what she's using. She's using the fact that her father did this to her. Her father's a monster who did this to her mother as well, and that she's a victim. They know that the victim card always helps, and there's a lot of people on the internet that are just going to get behind her for that. And also the fact that a lot of people are calling her out for faking her death. If she can shift blame to her father, because she's even claiming that it was her father that did this as well, I'm not buying none of it. I don't think that this high-profile lawyer would risk his career doing any of this, and that's the reason why he doesn't respond on video and do things like this, because this is only going to make him look bad no matter what he does. At the end of the day, this is his daughter. What can he possibly do to his daughter? He really can't do much to his daughter. And you really can't do much to the mother either if she's the one that's desperate for money, who's using her own daughter to get this clout. Lil Tay 16, he can't go back to family court and try to get custody. He just has to accept things for what they are, sadly.
Exactly. And you know what makes this look even more like a big plan? Is that just a couple days ago, paparazzi spotted her coming out of the airport, yet the person that they spotted was covered head to toe, glasses and mask. How would they have known that that was her? How would they have known that that was Lil Tay? Unless she would have called paparazzi herself and told them that she was coming and what she was going to be wearing. Other than that, there's no way that they would have just guessed a random person who was covered head to toe would have been Lil Tay.
Exactly. You know, it's all a giant plan, and that's what it's been since the beginning. And we have to understand how dangerous this is. This shows us how some people are just so willing to sell their children to Hollywood. They do not care what happens to their child. Lil Tay's mother does not care about Lil Tay. If she cared about Lil Tay, she wouldn't be doing this. I know some people are going to say she's helping Lil Tay build the internet career. We all know this internet career isn't going to last. She was a moment in 2018 during the Clout era where everyone was doing anything for clout. Everybody from that Clout era is gone. The people that are still around are barely hanging on. Lil Tay, even though she's showing to be talented and she can play guitar and all these instruments, it does not matter because she was introduced to this industry as a joke. That's all she was introduced as, so nothing else matters. Now, the fact that her mother is so desperate for money that she's willing to sacrifice her daughter's future, just so that she can get paid now, it shows you just how dangerous this industry is. It'll make people sell their own child. It'll make people give their child just so that they can get some fame and money. And that truly disturbs me. Well, that's it for this episode, but before you guys go, I just wanted to once again give a special shout out to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to try Scentbird today, scan the code on the screen now or use my link in the description with code TheTruthIs55 off to get 55% off your first month with Scentbird. Thank you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye, everybody. I hope you guys have a great day.